Getting a few more people joining in. Ethan, I will take care of people, letting people in from the waiting room. If you want to go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. I was just talking on mute. So welcome everyone, Google Certification Level 1. This is our third session out of 7. We were supposed to complete Units 4 and Units 5. We had some really great questions that popped up in the Canvas, so we're excited to address some of those. One of the things we want to do to start out this session is we want to do a quick little reflection. So Darcy, do you want to explain that and I'll take over admitting people?
Yeah, if you want to move over to there we are. So we started we left you off with a couple of questions last time as our STEM focus, thinking about these products that we're going through, and we're exploring how can I use these products to increase my efficiency as a teacher, as an educator, as a professional. How can I make my life easier and work smarter, not harder? And how are some of these skills that we're learning here making this, how are these 21st century work skills? How am I going to pass this work knowledge onto my kids so that they're prepared for work outside of the classroom as well? And then if you saw any examples from science or other STEM content areas as we went through there, I just want you to go ahead and share those, or other examples that you're seeing out in the fields, out in the classrooms. Are you seeing examples of these products being used in different ways in STEM content areas that you might want to replicate for your own? So Ethan, I think we're just going to do 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's do 5 minutes. So I've shortened, there's only 2 to 3 participants per room. So right when you hop in, unmute yourself, show your camera, and then just dive into these questions. And I will call you back at 3:38.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, you should get that little message to join your room.
Hi, Sarah. Welcome. We're just kind of going over a couple of questions from the last time. What are some ways that we can use these products for increasing efficiency, and then also examples from STEM and other science content areas. Welcome, Rhonda.
And if anyone needs any help joining their breakout room, let me know. How is it going, Luis? Rhonda and Luis, I'm going to throw you into room 8 together. So you'll both head to room 8 and we will just be addressing these questions.
Such a sweet little voice.
Yeah, I never knew hearing that could just wreck you so much, but It wrecks me every time.
Yep.
He knows when to say it too. He knows exactly when to look at me and say it. And I'm like, all right, all right.
It goes from dada to daddy, then it's dad. Like it's mom.
That's what my mom said, the exact same thing. She said, the moment he starts conversing with you and talking back to you, she's like, you're in for a whole new world. And I'm like, well,
yep. Be careful what you wish for. You're like, I want you to talk. No, you don't. Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you for participating in that. Again, we always want to have a STEM focus in this. So we're always going to take time to ask those STEM questions, to think about it from a STEM lens. And now we're going to go into some fun pieces. We had quite a few questions come up in our on the Canvas course, so we're just going to address those real quick. One of them was shifting from Microsoft to Google. So if you have been on Microsoft and you have a lot of Google or Microsoft documents, just know you will be able to upload every single one of them to their respective Google counterpart. So all of your Word documents, you will be able to upload as a Google Doc. All of your PowerPoints, you can upload it into your Google Drive and it will actually transfer into a Google slide, right? So you'll just click it and you'll say open with Google Slide. And we can go over that later on if that issue ever comes up. And the same thing with your Excel sheets. Maybe you've built a rubric in Excel, you can easily port it over to the Google Sheets. The next thing I want to point out, and I'm actually going to share my screen, is we did have a question about using Google with kindergartners. This
Ethan,
is,
can I interrupt
yep,
for just a second?
absolutely.
With the shifting from Microsoft to Google, there are some, like if you're doing a whole district shift, my agency went ahead and shifted everything that we had in our hard drives to our Google Drives. They just automatically uploaded it. So it was possible to do that. The thing for me that if you're making that shift, my focus would be on organizing the Google Drive. Number one, 100%, I would go back and change. And first thing I would pay attention to is organizing Google Drive. Speaking from experience. All right, sorry, Ethan.
No, that's a great piece of advice. And I think we've showed why that organization is so important. And once it's organized, you can start searching. Someone's waking up from his nap. So here's what we're going to do real quick. I'm going to show you, we had this question about how could I teach with, Google Classroom and the Google apps to kindergartens and their parents. So this is not covered in the Google certification, but one of the best things about Google and using Chrome are these extensions, and you'll find them here located right where the puzzle piece is. Something me and Darcy use on a daily basis is this extension called Screencastify. It is totally free and it allows you to record your screen. So any directions you're giving, not only are you typing them out, but you can quickly quit Screencastify. It will prompt, some ideas. I actually got to load into this one because I'm logged into a different account, but it will prompt you. It's really, really easy to use. And then you can dive right into the product. The second thing we want to, or the last thing I want to address is there was just a question about Unit 4, this question right here, where it says you can color code labels to find the message more efficiently. That color code labels, we've searched all of the documents. It's not in there. Okay. So I'm assuming that they wanted you to try it out. You can color code labels, but the words color code are not in they're not in here on this page, and they're not on the previous pages. Darcy, do you have anything to add to that?
No, and when I go over, I'm going to go over some Gmail stuff so I can show you how to do that. But no, we looked for that. I will give you a warning. You're going to find that same frustration with finding correct answers when you get to Google Earth. That one of those is a frustrating, answers are not correct. I have sent in multiple messages. This is not correct. The answers they want you to have. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. You're going to be frustrated with that, but know that that doesn't go to the completion of the modules, yeah, or a score or anything.
So, oops, let me share this. So one of our things, that we wanted to really focus on in the next few sessions is this idea of completing tasks. So we kind of, in these 2 units, you went over about 3 things. We're going to give you some tips on those. And then we are going to kind of choose our kind of own adventure and tackle one of these, what I would call a performance task. So our first thing we want to talk about is Google Calendar.
All right. So one of the things, and like Ethan said, we kind of created some practice scenarios. That's part of the test, are some scenarios. So we went ahead and created some scenarios for you to work through, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through a couple of examples for Google Calendar. So I'm gonna, are you still seeing my Google Calendar or no? Yes, okay.
We see
So
it.
the Google Calendar, a couple things with that we want to make sure that we pay attention to is know how to handle multiple calendars. To add another calendar. So this, for my agency, they have all of us on shared calendars. I can see anybody else's calendar that I want to in the agency. So I can see if they're busy or different things.
Darcy, just to interrupt, we're seeing slide Google Calendar tips. We're not seeing the calendar.
Thank you. I'm going to try that again. Now, are you seeing my calendar? Okay.
Yes, yes, we are, Darcy.
Okay, so here's the calendar. It shows multiple different calendars down here. These are other calendars. One thing to know is how to add a calendar. So I have, this is my work calendar. These are my Google calendars. I have a calendar here. I have another calendar that I want to see if it's my my assistant. If I want to add a calendar, I click the plus button. Know that the plus button is going to be the same in multiple different applications. A plus button means I'm going to add something new. I can subscribe to a calendar or I can create a new calendar. So know how to manage those multiple calendars. I'm going to create a new calendar and I'm going to call it Darcy's Personal. I'm not going to hit create because this is the agency account and I don't want to add that out there. However, if I wanted to have it out there, I would click create and that would give me a new calendar. Another thing to know is how to share events. So you're going to click create and you'll notice that you've got a couple of different options here. I can create an event. I can say I'm out of the office. I can create a task, or I can set a reminder for myself. That reminder was something that I forgot how to do when I was taking the test. And I'll be quite honest, that was when I was like, oh man, I forgot how to do that. I found another way to do it. But just remember, you've got a reminder option here. I color code. So all of these different calendars here are different colors. I color code mine for multiple different purposes. I use a bunch of different budget codes. And so each of these different colors that you see are different budget codes that I have to turn in at the end of the month. I've used color coding for classwork. I've used color coding for a number of different things, but look and practice with color coding. And then again, when you're creating events, I'm going to add rooms or location. I'm going to add a room. And this has rooms and resources. Make sure that you practice with creating that and creating rooms or resources where you have new, if you have that available for you. I will tell you that when you take the test, they'll have rooms available.
Darcy,
They'll have it all set up for you.
will you show us one more time where you click to create a title and add the calendar?
I'm going to see where it says other calendars and I'm going to add the plus.
Perfect.
Right here, create new calendar. So those are just some options. And I'll go over more options with Google Calendar here in a little bit. So one of the other things that we worked on was Gmail. Some things to know about Gmail. Ethan, I'm going to pull this over. Let me know if, can you see the slide presentation?
Nope, we do not see it. You're going to have to unshare and then just open up that
Okay.
doc.
So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so Gmail tips, things to remember. don't forget to explore the settings options. Play around with settings. Know the icons and the buttons on the bottom of the toolbar. Utilize templates. That will save you a ton of time. And then know how to attach files and links and pictures. I'm going to open up a new window. Do you see the new window?
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Here is accessing Gmail. I'm going to go to my Gmail. And I think there was a question or a comment in the chat that some of this is not available on a mobile device. You are correct. Not everything, not all of those options are available on the mobile devices. So for practice purposes, I would practice these skills on a actual laptop or a desktop that you have that you can see. So settings, gear icon, every single time, these are your settings. Go to settings. These are some options. If you click on see all settings, it'll give you all the different options. We are going to break out into some breakout rooms. I'm going to spend more time going over Gmail and calendar. Ethan is going to spend some time going over sites here in a little bit. But one thing to know, even if you don't come to the Gmail and calendar session, I'm going to record that piece. Ethan's going to record the sites piece, so you'll have access to both videos. Before I send Ethan over to do sites, one thing to think about, when you compose, this is a test. Let's say that I have an email I want to send to multiple different people. I don't want to copy and paste every single time. I go down to my options. Remember, your options are the 3 dots every single time. More options. I'm going to click templates. These are things that I have to send on a regular basis. I can pull it up and it'll automatically add that information to the email. So I could take that. All I need to do is change the name. And that is a template, and I can just send that. So then I don't have to recreate it every single time. Templates are a godsend.
Juliana, when you create an email, once you've created that email, that's how you can save it as a template. So you would actually create that first email and then save as template.
Templates, save draft as template, save as new template, as an option right there.
So you could even go to a past email that you've already made and then pull that up and then say, hey, I'm going to save it as a template.
Yep. Okay, Ethan, I'm going to go ahead and let you go over a quick view of sites. I'll take care of the chat.
Okay. So what we'll be doing for our task is we'll be doing a Google Sites, and it sounds daunting. It's not. There's no coding needed. That's one of the things we want to tell you. I'm going to quick view a site, and we're going to post these 2 links in the chat so you can have access to it. And also what you'll learn as well is that students create sites. So it can be a really, really dynamic tool. Let me share my whole screen real quick, and we will dive into this right here. So I'm just going to pop up this site. And we'll post this site in the chat as well. But this is a great showcase for all these different types of sites. So you can get some really good ideas by just clicking the site and saying, hey, what does a kindergarten class look like? Oh, okay, I got it, right? I can go to my educational philosophy, educational history, and we're going to talk about pages. We need to be able to create other pages. We'll find that out. But again, this is a really great tool to help you figure out how can I leverage sites in multiple different ways. And we will be adding some student created sites. Darcy has some student created sites. So we'll be adding that as well to this deck, and you'll be able to access it on the Canvas course. So
and like Ethan said, sites it sounds daunting. It sounds intimidating. But if you're looking for the flashy piece, the sites is the flashy piece because you can send that out pretty quickly. And I was just like, oh, wow, you created a website. It's really pretty easy. It's the same icons, I promise you. And it doesn't have to be seen. Nobody has to see it while you're creating it. I promise it's not out there for the world while you're in the midst of creating it. I promise.
Yeah, it's really, it's a game changer. Once you know, like, wow, I can just build a site and then you can host everything. And it's a great supplement, like the first tip says, for Google Classroom. And once you get your students building it, I mean, you can really have some student-led conversations. They can have student profiles, and we'll talk about all of that right now while we're going to do these breakout rooms. So not breakout rooms. What we're going to do is we're going to do one breakout room, and we're going to give you the option to join the breakout room. Darcy is going to be in the breakout room, and she is going to be leading you through two scenarios for the Google Calendar and for Gmail. She's going to help you walk through it. If you would like to get that training, jump into the breakout room. I'm going to be staying here, and we're going to go through a scenario focusing on Google Sites, right? So I'll have a list of tasks. You'll try to do it yourself. I'll answer any questions, and it'll be pretty organic, but it will take about 20 minutes of our time. So are there any questions before I make that one breakout room? And again, you are going to choose this room. So we're just going to have one breakout room. You will choose it. Let me recreate it. So I have recreated it. I'm going to rename too, and this is going to be Darcy's room. Real quick, I'm going to make sure I give Darcy recording permissions. Nope. Yep. You are good to go, Darcy. You have recording permissions. So we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and create this room. And we will give you about a minute to decide where you want to hop in. Darcy, do you see the room? Yep. Okay. Darcy's in there. So if you are struggling finding how to join the breakout room, it's going to be either at the bottom of your page in your Zoom bar or at the top. You will see a breakout room icon. When you click that, you actually just go to that one room, and to the right, you will see join. If anyone wants to go in that room and is like, I do not know how to get to that room, tell me and I can assign you to it so it will pop up on your screen. I'm going to give a little bit more time because we've got some more people joining there.
Yeah, I'm not finding it. This is Rhonda.
Okay, Rhonda, I am going to send you over there.
I need to know, why am I'm looking all over for a.
You should see something pop on your screen now where you can join.
Yeah, it is. I just need to know, and for in the future, why is it I have a hard time finding breakout rooms. So
check your more button too on the thing. If the breakout room doesn't pop up on that black bar, you can always click the more button and see if you see breakout rooms there.
okay. All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
No problem.
I want to do sites, but I'll do it later.
Yeah. You can always watch it. Yeah, and you'll be good.
Okay. Thanks.
We'll have some Screencastify videos. Anyone else want me to send you over there? All right, cool. So we got a good group here. So this is pretty much, and this is like probably the most difficult task, either this or something to do with the Google Maps. And again, there is like an NDA. So this is from open research, but there is this thing of, hey, we want you to create a site. We want you to title it this way. We want you to add a YouTube video titled this, and you'll get a lot of tasks. So it will look something like this in the scenario. So from start to bottom, we're going to create a site, and there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tasks. So you start out creating a site. So we got to figure out where that is. Okay. We then want to change our theme to impressions. Okay. We want to add a title to the main page called Unit 3 Cells. We want to insert a layout with a picture on the left and text on the right. We want to add a YouTube video called Introduction to Cells, the Grand Cell Tour. Then we want to add a page called Animal Cells. And then we want to click Share with Others. And we want to change publish site link to public. So we're going to go outside of our district's email so other people can access the site. This is really, really important when you create your teacher website, because you're going to want parents to be able to access the website. And then finally, we're going to actually publish our site using a name you can create, and hopefully we'll be able to share some of it in the chat and get some feedback. So what I want to do right off the bat is I want to give you all total freedom to take what's on here right now and start doing it. So total freedom. I'm actually going to add this stuff to the chat as well, just so, because when I go live to site, you'll be able to just open the chat and see all the instructions. So I've just added it to the chat. And Ollie is grabbed the loudest thing in the house. So we're probably going to hear some bangings. Yep, there it goes. Getting a gong was not a good idea, but we have one. So I want to post that in the chat, and then I'm going to slowly walk you through this. Oops, let me go back to here just so we're good. Cool. Okay, so with us at any point, because I'm going live to site, I'm not going to be looking at my chat. Just let me know, just unmute yourself and interrupt whenever you want. Okay. And now I will be looking at the chat so I can see the instructions, but just unmute yourself, ask the question, whole group. All right. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to share my whole screen. Actually, I'll just share this page. Okay. So first things first, we're going to open up a new tab. So I just go up here to the top tab. I'm opening that up. And the first thing I need to do is access my site. Okay, Google Sites. I find Google Sites the same place I find all of the Google applications, and that's right here in my waffle. So I'm going to go over here to the top right. I'm going to open up the waffle. The Sites button looks like this. It might not be up here, so you might need to scroll down and find it. All right, we got podcasts, collections, Jamboard, forums, all of that. The site button looks just like this. All right, so I'm going to click that sites button, and just like a Google Doc or just like a slideshow, I'm going to go to a home page first. So I won't jump right into the sites. So when I'm in my sites, I will get some templates suggested. So we already have some class templates, some club templates, student portfolio, and all of that. In the test, you won't be given a template. So you'll be creating your site from the blank. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to come right here and we're going to click blank slide. And so now I am in my blank slide. Now, there is no task for me to title the site, so I'm not going to do any of that right now. I'm just going to go through these tasks. The first task asks me to change the theme to impressions. So where am I looking on this thing? I am looking to the right toolbar, right? And I have my insert, where I would insert content, my pages, where I can create or delete pages, and then I have my theme. So I'm going to come over here to theme. I'm going to click this, and then I need to choose the impressions. So I can scroll down, and there is impressions. There is not a lot of themes. Okay, so you can kind of steal themes. Like people have, if you Google like other Google site themes, they've created some themes already that you can kind of take, but these are the set themes that Google's provided. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click impressions. And then it will give me a chance to change my font style so I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller. I can also change some colors here. None of the tasks asked me to do that, so I'm not going to do that. For impressions, the only thing that changes is just the green bar underneath it. So I'm just going to keep it red. I just clicked impressions. I've changed the theme. I'm all good now. The next thing it asked me to do is to add a title to the main page called Unit 3 Cells. So here's a cool thing. You can actually copy and paste from, you don't need to retype everything. During your test, it's going to give you stuff like name this, use this. You should not retype it because that will take time. You just simply copy it, highlight it, Control C or Command C, depending upon if you're on a Mac or a PC, and then Command V or Control V. So I'm really just pasting this stuff here, Unit 3 Cells, right? I'm not going to type the whole thing out because sometimes it's longer text and I don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to pause right here. Are there any questions? I also got the chat open, so if you want to post something in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself.
Quick question. When we're adding the page for animal cells, is it a sub page?
Yeah, you would just, that's a good thing. Yep, just click this page right here, and that's all you would need to do, just new
Oh, wait,
page.
hold on a second. My chat was in the way. Can you show? Oh, yeah, pages. Okay.
Yep, pages and then down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This
Perfect.
is neat. I'm so happy to be learning it.
Awesome. All right, so now I'm moving on to the insert the layout with a picture on the left and text on the right. So you might not see layouts here. It might be hidden like this, right? So you just want to click layout and then you'll get some options. Again, the options are limited. This is what you would call block coding, right? There is no actual coding you're doing. You're just choosing blocks to add or not add. And in this case, we need to add a layout with a picture on the left and text on the right. And if I come right here, I've got my picture on the left, text on the right. The reason I said picture here is because you see a picture here. That is not just a picture. That can be a YouTube, that could be a Google form, that can be a GIF, that can be there's so many things that you can add there. So when you click the layout, it's just going to add right to the bottom. Right? It's just going to add right below. If I clicked another layout, it would add right below there, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to delete that. All I did there is I clicked the entire layout and I just clicked my backspace button or delete button and it went away because it wasn't one of my tasks. So I just want to have this here. Now, what it asked me to do is it says click the plus button. So notice it has a picture up here, but when I add it, it's not a picture anymore. It's a plus button. Right? And so I'm going to click this plus button and you'll see again, the same type of tools that are within all of Google, right? You can upload it. So you might have a video that you filmed or, an old school video you have saved on your computer. You can upload it there, right? Or an image. You can select an image. You can pull something from your drive, right? I can do a YouTube or a calendar or a map. All right. In this case, it is asking us to do a YouTube video. So I'm going to click YouTube. Now, once I've done this, there's a number of ways. I could search by like a URL and embed a URL, but in this case, it tells me I need to add a YouTube video called Introduction to Cells, the Grand Cell Tour. So again, I'm not going to type that into YouTube because I don't want to make any errors. I'm just going to come up here and copy and paste it and click enter. And right there, the first one is Introduction to Cells, Grand Tour. And I think that's the Amoeba Sisters, which if you've taught science, I'm sure you've used some of those videos. They're fun. So I'm going to add this by selecting. So I've just clicked it and I get a nice little blue highlight. I'm just going to click Introduction to Cells and I'm going to click select. And now I have that video there. It doesn't ask me to add any text here, but this is where I could propose a question or tell the instructions or maybe give a general overview in text what cells are, right? That's super UDL when we're thinking about that, right? We're providing text about what cells are, right? An overview, and we're also providing a video, multiple ways of representing learning. So I've just done that. I do want to show you this. There is a way to click embed, right? And then I could embed the YouTube video. So I could go here, search on YouTube, for that video, Grand Tour cell, click it, go to my share option down here, copy the link, and I could embed it that way, right? So I'm embedding it using the URL, and then I could insert it, right? Now, I just want to show you there's multiple ways to do it. Either way you do it will be counted, right? So if you open up another YouTube tab and then copied it from there, unless the task specifically tells you to go a certain path, okay? So I'm gonna, again, all I'm doing is I'm clicking this. I got that little delete button up here, or I can just hit the delete, right, on my keyboard and it goes away. So now my next thing is adding a page. Yep, yeah, Lori, go ahead.
Okay, I've tried to do this before where you want the picture to show up because I like to do books, right? So
Yeah.
you want a picture of to have a picture there and not embed the URL into the picture. You just want that to be your picture. How do you make sure that that happens?
So,
Or does it happen with this because I have that picture spot? I think I've tried to do this in like a slide, a Google slide,
yeah.
and I can't get the picture.
Okay, so real quick question. Is the picture online or is it saved onto your computer?
Oh, it's in YouTube. So it's the YouTube. See where you got this picture of the video?
Yeah.
I've tried to insert a link and I don't get the picture. Did you press Control C when you insert? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No worries. So this front picture is called a thumbnail, right? That's a
Okay.
thumbnail. So if I just went up here and I could copy this link up here and so what you're doing there, and this, I'll just show you, you know what, we can just do this real quick. I'm going to hop to Google Slides. I'm going to add a quick slide real quick. I'll just do title only, boom. If I go like this, Control V, that's what's going to pop up.
Okay.
That's just a link. What you
Yeah,
have-
that's what I don't want. Yeah.
yeah. What you have to do is you have to click insert, right? And then you want to do a video.
Oh,
And then you can go to buy URL, boom, select, and then it will pop up. And now you got your nice
oh, okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
No problem. That's what we're here for. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. When you publish it, and you save it with a name, a web address, a name, will that name forever be taken, or does it come out of your cache eventually? Like,
No, that name will forever be taken, but it will be, there's like multiple associations. So like you can name it unit cells. There's probably a 100, 1,000 Google sites called cells or plant cells or something like that. But you'll see there's a difference in the slash beforehand. That will be your domain actually.
okay.
And if you're using your private email, and when I get to that, I'll show you when you're using your private email, it will have a random code there every time you create it, a random identity. So it's really hard to, I have never once created a site. I create a site called like Shakespeare. There's a lot of Google sites that are about Shakespeare and the encoding they wrote is Shakespeare, but because there's a little bit of like this stuff right here is different, it will be a unique site every time.
Okay.
Okay, so I've added my video. It doesn't ask me to do any text. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a page called animal cells. So where do I go? I go over here to pages, right? Websites usually have multiple pages. I come down here to the plus button and I'm just going to add a new page. That adding a link would be how I link it to another page. Right. So maybe I want them to go to the Google Classroom. I could add my Google Classroom. And then I'm going to go to new and it asks me to do animal cells. So again, I'm just going to control copy, control paste. Oops. Control copy, control paste, animal cells. There we are. This advanced, I can go to like a custom path. It won't ask you to do that. But again, it could do animal cells. So we could have a page name, animal cells, and then we could say like, I want this to go to my Google Classroom Or I'm just gonna say reddit.com. That's a popular website. I could do something like that and add a pathway to it. Okay. In this case, you don't need to worry about that. It just asks us to do animal cells. So we're going to click done. What's cool about it is the moment you create a page, it will hop up here. So all of your pages will be up here, right? So in the next time we're going to do plant cells, again, I would just type in plant cells. It's not asking me to do this, but I would type in plant cells, done, and that would pop up there. Now, what's cool too is I can organize these pages and it will change, right? So I can move them up and down. It will change. I can make them sub pages so I can hide them underneath. That's kind of what Melissa was talking about. And so now I have this drop down, right? I'm going to unpull that so it keeps out. And then I'm also going to delete this. So I just go to plant cells. I could duplicate it really quick.
Wait, can you show us again how you made it a sub page?
You simply grab it and then hold it.
Oh, okay, like you're combining it. I see.
Exactly.
Like you would
Pop
for
right underneath
put
it.
something in a folder. Okay.
Yep. So we're just dragging it around and then you'll get it. And then there's 3 dots there. You could click add subpage as well. But if I click add subpage here, then I'm adding a subpage to that. So now I'm saying plant cells, cell wall. We're having a little science course right now. Boom, and cell wall goes below it, right? And then we could go cell wall. Now I want to delete those because they're not in my task. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to hide from navigation, which is fine right now because that will go away. And then I can also delete them later. Let me see this. Delete that subpage. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. So if you have some subpages, it's not going to allow you to delete the home page right off the bat. You'll hide it, but then you delete the subpages and then you can delete that main page. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, this is the most important thing. I mean, you're going to have fun with this. That's the whole point of it. You're creating a site. So you can have fun with it. You can do some cool dynamic stuff with it. You can go investigate, steal stuff from other teachers. But the big thing is you want people to access your site. So the most important thing is you're going to need to go up, and there's a couple places where you can get here, but here it says click share with others. That's going to be this share with others button. And that gives me a way, one, I could add other co-teachers to this so they could add to it. You wouldn't want to add students onto this. Like you're not going to add students in here because it's going to be a website. It's going to be a live website that they'll be able to access. So what we really want to do is we want to go down here to the links and we want to change that links. And we want where it says a published site, not where it's a draft because it's still in its draft mode, but we want, hey, when this is a published site, who can access it? If it's just new ESD 101, none of you will be able to access this website. Your parents won't, only people in that organization. So you're going to want to click here and click public. Not restricted, not your organization. You're going to want to click public. None of your parents will be able to access your website that you've created, your Google site, unless you click public. So we're going to click public here. It will save it. I'm going to click done. And then the last thing is I'm going to publish it. And once I publish it, this is where it's going to ask me to type in the name. If I also titled this site like Unit 3 Cells, let me see this. I believe when you click publish here, it pulls that in Unit 3 Cells. So it will pull in whatever you titled the site automatically in here. Now I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to delete this, right? Because we didn't have anything. Oh no. Once you've titled something, it gets kind of hard. But I can go publish here and I could name this whatever I want. If I just name it cells, it's fine. It will be a valid one. And why? Because I have this ESD101.net, that pre-domain before it. Same thing with yours. Now, if you have multiple teachers on your campus, all creating something called cells, then it might lock it out. It might say, hey, that URL is used. So you might need to say cells, Mr. Adshay, right at the end of all of them. Right. And the goal is not for them to type in this whole website. The goal is to have that link in your Google Classroom or some place where they can easily click that link and access it. Right. I'm then going to click publish. And here I can manage who can view my website, right? That's where it would take me back here, and I could change links. I've already said public. So I'm just going to call it sales. And we're good. Now I click publish and the site is live. So now what I can do here is I can go to this drop down and I can go to view published site. And this is the website. No editing, no nothing like that. You can click animal cells and jump to the animal cells page. We didn't add anything there. And I can control copy that and post it in the chat, and you all should be able to access it. So did anyone else create it? Do those tasks. All right, Melissa, I've seen your hand. Go ahead and publish. Okay, Melissa's got it. Nancy's got it. Awesome. We're going to check out Nancy's. Very nice. Nancy added a little bit of a map up here to the left. So she's failed. No, I'm kidding. That looks great. Nancy, how'd you add that map up there? You want to unmute yourself and talk about that?
Good question.
What's up?
I wanted to know too.
Okay, so that was a random one. That kind of just came up there.
No, I actually do training on place names of Washington State for our indigenous language.
Oh, beautiful.
I actually helped publish the Burke Museum Indigenous Place Names map around Seattle. And one of my goals was to be able to do a large view of the map. And so I just did a Google screenshot. And so, yeah, and then I just inserted it because it was on my desktop.
Awesome. And you were just able to drag it up there, or did you
No.
click insert image and then
Insert image and
upload?
uploaded it and put it right in there. And oh
Awesome.
yeah, I dragged it up there from where it was down on the bottom, and I just drug it up because it said put it up to the top left.
Perfect. Perfect.
Mhm.
Let's check some other. We got Melissa, or we got John. Oh, Melissa Earl. Let's check hers. Very nice. So Melissa, I'm not seeing the YouTube video down here. Maybe that was in animals. No, oh, we're in. Oh, so here's what Melissa did. Melissa posted the animal cells link. So we defaulted to animal cells. And then we go home and we're right here.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
fixed it. I got you the wrong link. I just
Gotcha.
copied the link to the page when it was clicked on animal cells.
Gotcha. Yep. John, great job. Hope, great job. So this is awesome. We got Jen, good job, good stuff. Kelly, I'm gonna. Good job, Kelly. Kelly did the same thing. She grabbed it from animal cells. So we're just gonna go click home and she's got it all set up here. Perfect, perfect. All right, good job. Are there any questions? Anyone have any questions on what we just did? Because this is the time to slow it down. I know we went through it fast. Yeah, Kathy, go ahead.
So Yakima School District won't allow me to set it public.
Yakima School District won't allow you to put public, huh?
Nope. I can do Yakima School District or restricted.
That is an IT question that is worth having for the saying, hey, I want to make a school website. I want to make a school website and my parents need to access it, right?
Okay.
If it's just for your students, you'll be all good. But if your parents need to access it, I want you to, that would be a good email to have.
Okay.
The other thing that they might prevent is some of these extensions. I'm telling you, these are the three I use Screencastify, I use Read Aloud all the time, and I use another one called Translate, Google Translate, and allows like this. I can add Google Translate real quick. I just type in Google Translate. I'm going to type in Chrome extension. I click this. All I got to do is click add to Chrome. That simple. Add extensions and I'm done. And then I come up here and here's the really cool thing. I just go here, I go to translate and I'm going to translate this entire page. And I think we're on someone's website, but I'm going to translate this entire page. Let me go back here, Google Translate this page. Why is that not popping up down there? That is really weird. Let me see this real quick.
Do you need to specify what language you need it translated to?
Nope, it should pop down. Oh, there it is. Okay, it just took a while. Once it's here, you can translate to anything. I can translate it to Korean. Everything gets changed. And then here's the best part, because I have some Korean speaking students. I can highlight this, and then I can go to this, and then I can go to read aloud. And guess what it'll sound like? It'll be the
소기관 구조와 기능을 탐구하기 전에 원액 세포와 진액 세포를 비교하고
It's not like a robot voice. It's like in Korean dialect. So I really like those options. And then the final one is Screencastify, which is just a game changer. And all of your text you put here, I'm going to try it real quick. It might take a little bit for this to pop up, but once it pops up, you'll be able to access it. It will change, and it will change all of your text into Korean as well, or whatever language you choose. Lori, I saw you pop your hand up real quick. You're
Okay,
muted.
how do you put something behind that? Can I insert a picture into where it says Unit 3 cells, or insert my own stuff back there?
So you can't, let's go back to Unit 3. I can change this image right here. So this will change that background image. So I'm going to do change image. I'm going to go upload. I think I got some, I'm going to do this image right here. That's Ollie's first birthday. Boom. And then I got Ollie in the background, right?
Okay. Oh, he's cute.
He's making a mess right now. Come over here. Come over here. Say hi to everyone. All right. Any other questions? And this might feel daunting. Like Google Sites might feel daunting. It's okay. It's a website. You're building a website. It can feel daunting. Just keep going at it. Keep approaching it, and you will build the skills. I promise you'll build the skills, right? It just takes a little bit of messing with. Nancy.
I have my own website for Indigenous languages called House of Living Languages. And it is not easy to build a website, but this is super easy.
Absolutely.
I am probably going to shift over to this and cancel my subscription to the other one. I never knew this was available until I took this class.
Yeah. I mean, Google, so these are the websites I've built beforehand. So I have a nonprofit called tefi.org. The amount of coding that goes behind this website is unbelievable. My coder lives out in it's unbelievable. This website I built from Wix, right? And we can see this, we got some cool, but there's no coding in this. It's all block, but it is still like, changing the colors, changing the transparency, creating these pages, booking online where you can book stuff online. It can get really, really daunting. Google Sites has made it very simple for you to create an online presence and share what you need. You're not going to have all the options total, but you do have a lot of options, right? And you can add forms in here. You can add calendar. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the site. Thank you for sharing, Nancy.
Yes.
We got Sarah posting. Perfect job, Sarah. Animal cells, awesome. And we got an untitled page. So Sarah, if you ever want that untitled page to go, all you would have to do is click pages and those 3 dots on the right of it. Kathy. Boom. Yep, Kathy. And look, Kathy, I think you posted like the edit version, but because I don't have access to it, it automatically turned it into, the public. So if you did, if I was up here and I did share this version, it's okay. They wouldn't be able, your students aren't going to be able to edit it, right? They're just going to go to their original site. All right. Are there any more questions? Is our other group back?
Ethan, we came back. We noticed
Nice.
the time and came on back.
All right. Well, we are diving into this. We had a lot of fun. Ollie's having a lot of fun. He's wanting to go to the park. So we are going to wrap this up. Let me exit out. Got it. If there's any questions, we'll hang out for another 5 minutes, answer any questions, especially about the website. Again, this will be uploaded to our Canvas course. So I encourage you all to hop on the Canvas course, learn about Gmail and about Google Calendar that Darcy was mentioning. And then if you were in Darcy's group, come and watch us build our website. We had a lot of great success building this website. And Darcy, you want to take it away?
Okay, so as you are going through this next week, so we've got sessions, our modules 5 and 6, and or actually 6 and 7. And it's going to start talking about putting things into using these applications within the classroom. So as you explore this week, really start thinking about how can you use these to bring your own student work online. Think about integrating that computational thinking idea, the idea of the big idea, breaking it down into smaller parts, recognizing patterns and creating a step-by-step guide. How might you do that with the students? And think about sites, think about the Google Docs and Google Slides, all of those different things. And we'll be talking about some different applications for some of these like Google Slides and things like that before we, as we come together next week. So anything else? I am so glad that you were here this afternoon. We will again hang out for another few minutes and answer questions. Don't hesitate to reach out either via Canvas or through our other emails to reach out if you have any questions at all. And wave at Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
I do kind of have a question, but it's kind of not related to this, I guess these modules. Could be. But I noticed that Google has Google Meet. Do you guys know if they're actually working towards making it as refined as like Zoom or Microsoft Teams?
I'm going to take my Google hat off right now and talk to you as a person that's used both. I much rather use Zoom than Google Meet.
Yeah,
I assume that they are working on it. I know that there have been multiple requests for different features to be updated and upgraded. I have not seen the improvements that I would want. If I had a choice, I would use Zoom.
If I had a choice between Zoom and Microsoft Teams, I would use Zoom.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My oldest uses Teams for work, and there are so many issues that Zoom is probably the easiest, most user-friendly when we're talking about parents as well, and for interaction. Say Google hat off. I would use them.
Thank you for that honesty. I was experimenting with Meet for a while with some of my students, and I said I don't think I like this. And so I said let's go back to the Zoom because I host a Zoom as well.
One of the things that originally Zoom or Google Meets had that Zoom did not was closed captioning, and Zoom has made updates so you do have closed captioning in Zoom as well. You just have to turn it on.
Good. Well, thank you. That was good information too.
Thank you, Nancy, and love the work you're doing with the indigenous tribes here in Washington. Really appreciate that.
Oh yes, that's my passion. I will see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Emily, Tony, Kelly, any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
No, thank you. Everything's going well. I'm pretty much reading ahead